It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house.
Welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Spotlight. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez, and I am stoked. I am stoked about the guest that I have for this week's Spotlight. You don't see many in the Indy Circuit. It is Robin the referee. Robin Head is a independent female referee. All right, now scrap that whole female thing because you know how we hate using that. But she is a referee in the Indy Circuit. You don't see many. You see Aubrey Edwards. You see Jessica Carr. You see a couple other ones on the main brands. But holy moly, the Indy Circuit. So yeah, let's see about Robin, what she's doing, and all of that. Does she have a goal to be a professional wrestler as well? Or is she going to live and die by the sword of being a referee? Is she going to be Tommy Young? Is she going to be Earl Hebner? Maybe even way back to Teddy Long in the NWA. I don't know. I have all these questions. I got to find out more about what Robin's goals are in the business. Hopefully you see her and Aubrey doing some stuff together on AEW, or maybe Robin heads to Impact. I don't know. Maybe she takes over Jessica Carr's job too in the WWE. We'll have to find out all these questions and so much more. What makes Robin tick in the Indy Circuit? But you know first what we have to do. We have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all that cool-ass merchandise that Al Snow and the boys have at collarandelbowwrestling.com. Head over there, check them out, buy some stuff, and then when you see that box that says promo code, type in Can Crushers. All one word, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers, and you will save 10% off of the entire order. Go out, buy some merch, and check out all that. Guys, don't forget to follow us as well. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at CanCrusher69. Check out our website, cancrusher69.wixsite.com/CanCrushers. You can check out our merch there as well. Get some of the sweet hoodies, a tumbler for the ladies. There's leggings. I'm not going to lie. I did get a pair of leggings because you guys know I'm a garbage man. I wear them underneath the whole outfit when I'm freaking freezing. Other t-shirts, so on and so forth. Make sure you check out all our stuff as well. It's linked to all our socials. Head over, buy some stuff. As well, I want to remind you guys that the new book is still out there, The Pro Wrestling Vault by WrestleVille. 35 great short stories by our homeboy, Vincent Barry. Go to Lance by Chance, pick up that book. I'm not sure if you'll get it by Christmas now because he's pretty freaking busy. He also has a Lance Von Erich book out there as well on that same website, Lance by Chance. So, yeah. All right, here comes Al Snow to tell you more about Collar and Elbow. I'm going to get Robin on the line, and we're going to find out what's going through her head, why she picked to be a referee in the wrestling business.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. I told you in the intro how excited I was to talk to my guest this week. Guys, it's the first female referee that we've had on the show, and I know a lot of people are going to say, guys, drop the female. Yes, I agree. But I'm just putting it out there. We've never spoken to a female referee before. So welcome to the show, young referee Robin Head, or as we like to call her, Robin the Ref. How you doing, Robin?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. First and foremost, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I hear something. This is something big for both of us.
Yes, this is the first podcast I've ever done.
Yay!
So I'm very excited to branch out.
Yeah, they're great. They're really fun to do. You know, you chat wrestling, chat about some other stuff, because we're going to get to know a little bit more about you outside the wrestling a little bit too, but I always want to know, like, how's everything going right now? How close were you to the tornadoes down there? I know they were in Kentucky, but, you know, they kind of lingered around you guys as well, didn't they?
We didn't have anything here. I actually live in Moore, Oklahoma, which is basically the tornado capital of Oklahoma. If you look back at, like, it was the 2013 tornadoes.
Yep.
They were like devastating and more, and that's how we kind of got news coverage. But I moved here a couple of years ago, and I've thankfully not really had to experience too many tornadoes.
All right, you know it's the tornado capital of the world, so why the hell do you move there?
Well, I lived outside Oklahoma City for a while, and this house was for sale and more. So I just went for it, bought it. It has a storm shelter. But I am hoping that eventually a tornado does hit so I can get my house paid off for me. I mean, let's be real.
Right? It's a good way to look at it.
I have insurance to cover that. As long as, like, I don't die and I'm not hurt, like,
yeah, just
pretty good scam.
That's great. And this is going to be out there for everybody to hear that you've already planned that now. That's amazing.
I mean, I can't plan a tornado,
right.
But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, for sure. So you're about a year into the business, adding on training and everything, right?
Just about, yes.
Just about. Yeah, we're rounding. We round here. It's easier. My math skills are wonderful. That's why I'm a garbage man, you know? So let's do a little bit of a rewind. When Robin was a youngster, because there's this love of wrestling that I'm sure came from when you were little Robin. Who introduced you to wrestling? Was it mom, dad, Uncle John? You know, how did you find the love?
So here's the thing. I'm a very non-traditional wrestling fan, especially for someone in the business. I didn't start watching wrestling until 2019, 2020.
So you're a COVID fan, essentially.
Yes, essentially, yes.
Wow.
We were locked down for a while, so a friend of mine and my husband's had sent us a link to an AEW show and was like, hey, check this out. It's a lot different than like WWE, and it's a good watch. So we started watching it and then just fell in love immediately and started watching wrestling every week. My husband is a long-term wrestling fan. Like, he's like this since he was a small child. And he showed it to me, and I just kind of fell in love and thought, hey, I bet I could do that.
So maybe I should talk to him then instead of you. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
You probably should. He is a wrestling encyclopedia. He just takes in all of the information of things he's seen in the past, and is constantly like having to answer questions for me when people ask me about like older wrestling stuff.
Yeah, a lot of these questions are going to blow your mind. A lot of these questions that I have for you are going to blow your mind. This is awesome. I've never spoken to somebody that just liked wrestling within the last 2 years either. So this is going to be a fun interview for me. And let's just see where it goes, because this is amazing. I'm really giddy over this right now. So you find it during COVID because of a friend, and it's AEW. Do you go back now and watch anything? Like, does your husband say, you got to know about this guy, you know, and I'm going back to my era, Hulk Hogan, or you got to know about The Rock or Stone Cold, or am I speaking, you know, German to you right now?
I definitely know who those people are. I went back and watched some like original WrestleManias, and my husband's a big fan of the 90s Attitude Era. So we've watched a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also went back and watched a lot of older Ring of Honor stuff before AEW kind of existed. At the training I go to, we have basically homework assignments where our trainer sends us a list of matches to watch. So we go back and watch different things like that. Just that kind of range from Lucha Underground to WWE, AEW, Impact, just depending on our style and what he thinks we could learn something from. Right.
That's actually a really cool, that he gives you homework, because I've been to a couple of different training facilities, and I'll speak of Al Snow's of OVW, because that's one of the ones that, you do your bumps and your bruises in the ring and everything, and then he does the social, the psychology part of it. But I've never heard about the homework about going home to, hey, go home and watch, Mankind against The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell, or, something like that. That's cool. So that adds a different aspect of it. Is it hard to fit that into your life? Have that homework as well?
It definitely can be challenging to fit into my schedule, but I honestly try to watch it an hour or so before training, just so it's fresh on my mind. I also retain information really well, because when I watch these matches, I treat it just like actual homework, and I take notes on it, and I understand, I try to understand why they do the things to better get the psychology of it, and along with the moves, of course.
So essentially, just becoming a wrestling fan in the 2 years, in the last 2 years, you're a giant nerd now, though, for it. You really are. Literally doing homework and taking notes. You sound like a podcaster, essentially. That's what we do week in and week out to bring you wrestling recaps. So, are you still loving it going through training right now? That you're, doing that?
I do still love it. I obviously go through phases of just being tired, and it's a thing you have to do. But then you just learn that one thing, or you take that one really fun bump, and it just kind of reinvigorates you to want to keep going. It also helps that I'm a huge dork outside of wrestling. So it's an easy transition.
Is it? Yeah, we'll get because I know some of the dorkiness of you. I don't know you personally, but like I said, I did explore somewhat of a deep dive on you. So yes, you are a huge dork, but that's okay. We'll get there. And I mean it out of love. I do. So you're refereeing right now, but it sounds like as well that you're going through wrestling training as well, or do you have to do wrestling training to just become a referee in your neck of the woods?
I started wrestling training to become a wrestler, but it was recommended to me to try being a referee just to help build my, courage of being in front of a crowd, my self-confidence. And it's really worked for me. I've really enjoyed being a referee. So I kind of put off debuting as a wrestler because I've taken so many bookings and had so much fun being a ref. And I've really had to contemplate whether I wanted to wrestle at all, because being a referee is so much fun. Yeah. You're basically a fan that's in the ring.
Yes. I honestly was just going to say that you are the number one fan of that match, because you're in the ring, but you're also essentially in control of the match as well.
Yes. And as a female referee, even though I hate to be booked as that, as the token female referee, to me it's really important for representation as a referee, because there's not a lot of women that do it, whether they want to or just people won't hire them because they are female.
Yeah, I agree. I posted on our Facebook probably a week ago about the very first female referee, because they were talking about Jessica Carr and the likes of the Aubrey Edwards as well. They were talking about them, but they also talked about, I can't remember her name, and I should have did my homework a little bit better about the very first female referee that was in the WWF. That she did 5 or 6 matches, but as we know, the WWF WWE now likes to erase history when they want to. And they essentially did erase her name, and Jessica Carr has become the new, very first ever female referee ever. But yeah, and that's cool. I really like that you're sticking with the referee for a little bit, because like what I said, that you're in control of the match. Let's bring the fourth wall down. Everybody knows, wrestling and everything, and we don't have to bring it down that far, but just enough. How important is it to the wrestlers that you're in the ring with them? Because you're telling them maybe a spot that they forgot, or maybe the time or something like that. Like, you really are in control of the match, right?
Yes. Referees have so many responsibilities of trying to remember the base layout of all of the matches that they have that night. Time is important. If there's any spots that the ref has to be involved in, or if we're waiting on like a run-in or something, like someone from the outside not in the match, like coming in. All of those components, along with communicating to the wrestlers if the crowd's just not into it, if they need to change up their plan of what they've got going because the crowd's just sitting on their hands. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most important job out there. I will always wave the flag for referees, because the talent is in that moment. They have, like Macho Man and Steamboat, they had everything scripted out. So, boom, this is what they were doing. If it was flat, the referee, Earl Hebner or somebody, had to say, hey, you need to do this. Because they just might be doing, they did it thousands of times. What's going over in Detroit might not go over in Oklahoma City, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back on to you a little bit. Just finding out that it still blows my mind, Robin. I'm sorry. 2 years a wrestling fan. So who hooked you then as for some of your favorites then? Clearly, I'm guessing you're a huge AEW fan, right?
I am a huge AEW fan. I definitely was a big fan of Daniel Bryan back when he was in WWE, and him and Bray Wyatt were my 2 favorites when I first started watching. And then watching AEW, I was a really big fan of Hangman Adam Page, The Dark Order. I really enjoyed the cult that they basically started.
Yes.
Whenever they first came out. That was my favorite. Britt Baker has always been amazing. And then I became a really big fan of Thunder Rosa. And I've gotten to ref one of her matches, which is insane to me.
That is. Thunder Rosa to me right now is, as much as, all right, I'm gonna talk about Britt a little bit. Literally, Britt lives 25 minutes away from, she's not, yes, she's dubbed from Pittsburgh, but she's not originally from Pittsburgh, and she'll throw me under the bus because we chat once in a while. She lives 25 minutes away from my house. So I've known Britt. I've called some of her basketball games in high school. So, yeah, Britt's always, my number one right now. But what Thunder Rosa is doing for women in professional wrestling is unbelievable. Mission Pro and everything that she does, she has moved that needle, for me at least, 100%. I said during the COVID time that women's wrestling, and I hate always saying, women's wrestling, because I'm one that it's wrestling, but the women on the wrestling cards have done more to me during COVID times than the guys. So that's another reason why I thought, hey, Robin the ref, have her on since she's a female and how she's changing the world as well. But let's talk about you reffing the Thunder Rosa match. Where did this happen?
So I had reffed at a local promotion one time. I had reffed this really awesome match. I think it was Danny B and Skylar Slice, some women wrestlers here in Oklahoma. And after that match, like, everything went great, and they had both messaged me individually and was like, hey, reach out to this person. Mission Pro's coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. You should try to get booked. So I was like, sure, like, I doubt I'm going to get hired. Like, I've only been doing this a month. Like, there's no way this is going to happen. So I reach out, and Mission Pro definitely tries to work with women as much as possible, whether it's their wrestlers, their refs, like ring crew, it's all female oriented. So I got hired, and I was the only, I think even right now, I'm the only active female referee in Oklahoma.
Wow.
So whenever I got the card that day, I found out I was doing the main event, along with 2 or 3 other matches, along with a friend of mine who's a male referee. We split the card, and it was important that it was a female ref, so it ended up being me, and I did a terrible job, admittedly, but it opened up more opportunities for me, and I've worked with Mission Pro since.
So, guys, just to let you know, I know that card is on Title Match Network, that you can go see Robin mess up as much as you want for only $9.99 a month, because I essentially watch Mission Pro all the time when it's on. This past weekend, they just had a show, and I actually thought that I was going to see you on there. I know it was down close to San Antonio, but I thought, I wonder if she's making the trek down there this weekend to be on that card. So, I don't think you did that bad. Stop it, by the way.
I didn't make it to the San Antonio show. I did the Halloween show in Conroe, though.
The one with, not the one with Dave LaGreca, did you? No, that was the one after in Conroe. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it was the one before that.
Yeah. Are you going to go to the next Conroe one that is in January?
I'm not. I'm actually fully booked for January. Okay. I haven't had a chance to reach out to anyone to get hired. I've had so many promoters reach out to me.
Which is amazing.
Which is amazing and incredible, and I'm so grateful. But I didn't actually have the chance to reach out and try to find the more fun bookings I would like to take, just because I've been so blessed to just have promoters reach out to me and ask me to do their shows.
Yeah, and I saw that you're checking some more states off of your bucket list, essentially, right?
I've only ever reffed in Oklahoma and Texas. And in January, I'll be going to Kansas for the first time.
And how would you like to travel? Would you like to get all 50 states, essentially?
Ideally, yeah. My true goal is to wrestle in Japan.
Nice. We're jumping all over the place today, by the way.
Sorry.
No, because normally we do your goals at the end of the show, but the listeners know that I'm just like a gnat sometimes, that we just do whatever. So, yeah. Wow, you want to wrestle in Japan against somebody? I guess we're going to do your dream match then right now. Screw it. Let's just throw that. Who's your dream match? Where, who, and what's the stipulation then?
I don't have a dream match. I'm sorry to disappoint.
You can lie to me and say Thunder Rosa at least.
I mean, I would love to wrestle Thunder Rosa. I would love the opportunity. I would love the opportunity to wrestle in AEW, on Dynamite preferably.
Right.
As far as Japan, I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet, but I am a huge dork, and yes. I would love to go toy shopping in Japan. So I think that wrestling there and being paid to be there would be pretty awesome.
You would come back broke. I already know this because all right. Let's get to know your dorkism a little bit because it's not bad because my tattoo artist continues to tell me that I need to watch anime and that I would love it, and you're a huge anime fan. Is essentially why you want to go to Japan and spend all the money that you're going to make over there, right?
I do love anime. I love a couple of things, actually. I collect Marvel, Star Wars, Gundam, like action figures, along with I collect AEW wrestling action figures. I collect a lot of comics, and I collect board games.
Board games. That's one. All right, let's stick to that one real quick because we can come back to all of those other ones. I didn't even need to listen to you. I know you're a wrestler. Every wrestler likes Marvel, the comic books. I understand. But board games really boggles me. What's your favorite board game?
Probably Carcassonne.
Oh, I don't even know that one.
Or Dominion, which is technically a card collecting game, not a board game. But I am amazing at Settlers of Catan. My record for winning a game is 17 minutes.
Wow.
Which is impressive if you know anything about Catan.
Some other guys that I know play it, and I've never gotten into it. I've been around them when they played it, but yeah, I've never seen anybody in 17 minutes. That's pretty freaking crazy.
During COVID time, our group that normally gets together for board games went all online, so we would play online, and that's when I won in 17 minutes flat. We had Dynamite on in the background watching it while we're playing, so I'm half paying attention to the game and then half paying attention to it. And I guess other people got distracted too because I just straight up won before the mid commercial break.
That's crazy. Marvels then. Who's your favorite Marvel? Who's your favorite comic that you go to and all of that as well?
Marvel specifically, Iron Man is probably my favorite. The first Marvel movie I ever saw was the first Iron Man movie in theaters when I was for my 12th birthday. And since then I was kind of hooked to the MCU.
Nice. One of my favorite questions, and you're going to be like, what's your favorite cereal?
Okay, I have a lot of strong opinions on cereal and how you should prepare cereal.
Are you serious? This is always usually a throwaway question for people because they're like, what the hell are you talking about? All right, let's hear about this.
Okay, so my favorite cereal is probably Captain Crunch.
All right, good enough. I'm a Fruity Pebble guy, but all right.
But here's the thing, or Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is probably the best.
No.
But I don't think that cereal needs milk.
Oh, I agree.
Like, I will pour it into a bowl and just eat it from the bowl, like with no milk. I don't want anyone coming at me saying you should at least do like almond milk or something like that. Like, no, milk's gross. I'm not going to put that and ruin my cereal.
Oh, you never do milk?
I do not drink milk at all and will not put it in my cereal.
Oh, damn. See, I thought you meant like just as a snack because in the morning before I go to work, it's always a bowl of milk and cereal. I better specify it as that. It's a bowl of milk and cereal before I go to work of whatever. It's usually Fruity Pebbles. But at night, I'm on your team then. Like at night right before bed or something, I just want something that I'll throw some cereal in a bowl and just eat it, plain Jane dry. That's a snack for me. It's not really a meal at that point then.
Here's an important question, though. When you eat it as a snack, do you use a spoon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not a heathen. Why? You don't use a spoon either, do you?
I do use a spoon.
Okay.
Me and my husband, it was one of the first times back when we were dating, I came over to his house and we were watching Black Panther and he said, I'm going to go make a bowl of cereal. So he also doesn't put milk in it. And he went and got a bowl and with Cinnamon Toast Crunch in it, brought it back with a spoon and was sitting on the couch with me, and we were talking and joking, and I was like, why do you use a spoon if you don't have milk in there? And this man pauses and looks me dead in the eye and says, I thought a spoon would impress you? I mean, we're married now, so it works.
Right. So normally he just is in like a bear with his hands, just shoveling it into his mouth now?
He uses a spoon when he's around me. I think whenever we're not together, it's all just straight hand.
You know he's going to listen to this, so you better, Was he excited that you're doing your first wrestling podcast, by the way?
Yeah, he was very excited. He's been asking me all afternoon what we're going to talk about and if I have anything prepared that I want to talk about. But I was like, I'm just going to wing it. I have no idea.
There's no preparation here on Can Crushers, ever. Just doing a quick 15-minute, when I say a deep dive into people, it's a really stalk your Facebook, look at your Instagram, see if you had any matches or anything, and then like, oh, okay, yeah, great, whatever, cool. That's it. Whatever I could find out then is perfect, and apparently you guys are freaking serial killers, just eating it. Unbelievable. Yeah, all right. So
I honestly didn't really like cereal much until like me and him got together, and I realized it was okay to eat it without milk all the time.
Wait, you weren't a big fan of cereal as a child?
No, I've always been lactose intolerant, so I've never really enjoyed milk. So I thought that cereal wasn't very good either because everyone insists on putting milk in it.
Oh my God. So you just found cereal in the last 5 years as well.
Basically, I still don't eat a ton of cereal now, but I definitely enjoy it.
What the hell have you been doing with your life? You don't know anything. You don't know anything about wrestling before 2019, and you just found cereal in 2014. Essentially, I'm just throwing numbers out there. You're crazy, Robin. You're crazy.
Yeah, basically.
Anything else? Like what kind? Now I have to ask. Do you ghost hunt? Are you big into jamming out in music when you're training or anything like that?
I definitely enjoy ghost hunting.
See,
I don't know if I believe that it's a thing or not, but I'm open to the possibility. Just recently, probably a month ago, we went and explored a supposedly haunted abandoned cemetery.
Okay, tell me more. Because one of my big things is I want to go to Alcatraz and I'm scared, so I would need somebody with me in case I get shoved by a ghost or anything. I'm a big baby, I really am. So I need wrestlers or referees that are going to protect me. But Alcatraz is one of the places I've always wanted to go. But where did you go?
We went to a small cemetery near Enid, Oklahoma. That's supposedly haunted. The people that I know that have been there have always been too scared to stay there very long. We went and we stayed probably 20, 30 minutes. And a friend of ours that was with us, her phone just completely quit working while we were there. But other than that, we didn't really see anything spooky. There's clearly some type of farm equipment that was in a farm nearby that was making loud, scary noises. So most of the time we were there, there was a noise very similar to an axe kind of being drug across a wooden floor.
Oh, wow.
But I assume it was more just the mill that was nearby than it was anything in the cemetery.
See, you're trying to talk yourself out of it that you had an encounter. Yeah.
I don't think it was a real encounter.
Okay. I bet you it was. Your friend's phone freaking shut off. That's enough for me to go like, nope.
Like, her flashlight just quit working. She has an iPhone, and the flashlight would quit working. So then she was trying to pull up her camera, and that quit working. It didn't start working again until after we had already gotten back to, like, the house that needed that we were watching the OU-OSU game at.
Yeah, you had an encounter then. Stop trying to tell yourself you didn't. You legit had an encounter. Let's talk about wrestling today a little bit. We talked about you're a big fan of AEW, and you named some of the people there. Do you spend some time watching WWE Impact and stuff like that with your husband? Because I'm sure he, spends the whole 30 hours out of the week that we all do and watches wrestling.
We don't really watch WWE in the house. I've tried so hard to get into it because everyone kind of preaches about it being the company you should be into. But I'm going to be completely honest. Trying to watch it and the amount of camera cuts in it kind of makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
Impact does a lot better job, and they do a lot of cool stuff with their women. They'll have multiple women's matches on a single show, which is really cool.
Yeah. And Tasha Steele was one of my favorites in Impact. Chelsea, being wherever she wants to be, is one of my favorites. I really love, besides the AEW women's division, I really love the Impact division as well. Everybody likes Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky, and the Four Horsewomen. But they have that entertainment tag that it's not wrestling anymore to me at the WWE.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I did watch the match where Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair. Yeah.
Yep. Bianca Belair won her title that she had for a little bit. That was an amazing match.
Yeah, at WrestleMania against Sasha.
Yes.
So your husband is, at least, you guys will watch the big stuff for WWE then, essentially, but just, it's notes from the internet and everything else then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Impact, I've gotten to do a seminar with the Good Brothers and Scott D'Amore back in July, and that was an amazing learning experience and definitely turned me on to watching more Impact. It kind of helps knowing people who are on it, making it more interesting to see.
Oh yeah, for sure, because then you're like, oh, I was there with so and so or something. Yeah. So you said at the beginning of the interview that you kind of were, I don't want to say shoved into the referee position, but kind of break yourself out. Are you saying that you might be an introvert a little bit, that it took you a minute to get on the center stage, to be a wrestler, to go down this path of being a referee first?
Yes, I'm extremely introverted. Before I decided on this for my career, I didn't really use social media at all. I didn't really like talking to people or anything really. Even when I was a kid, I spent most of my time reading books instead of trying to interact with anyone. So stepping into wrestling out of my comfort zone, because this was something I wanted to try, I've almost transitioned into an extrovert, even though I still like plenty of alone time. And being a referee has given me the opportunity to be a part of wrestling and contribute whatever I can without having to be the center focus. Because the best referees are, you notice the best referees when you're supposed to. The rest of the time, they kind of fade into the background of the match until it's their job to take center stage and make the call.
You know the business already. That's amazing. Yeah. Talk to me about your trainers, because they clearly told you that in day one, that, a ref can always be seen, but shouldn't always be seen until they have to make the big call or do something, outlandish, essentially. Who are your trainers, and was that one of the first things they told you when you said, all right, I'll do the referee thing?
I've trained with so many people, honestly. JD Griffey, or Jerome Daniel Griffey, was my first actual trainer, and he's a wrestler, so he kind of trained me to be a wrestler. And the number one rule, and the first thing I learned in wrestling, was to protect your opponent. Their safety comes first, no matter what. And then number two is to protect the business, and then number three is to protect yourself. Oh, I think I misordered that. But number one thing was to protect your opponent. So then when I decided to be a ref, I was working with this ref here in Oklahoma who goes by the name Frank Lynn, or Frankie Lynn.
I've heard that name, actually.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, he, for literally nothing, just we happened to both train at the same promotion, or he worked there, I trained there. And he just was willing to give me his time to teach me how to be a ref. And he just kind of told me to be the dominant force and in enforcing the rules of a match, but the wrestlers are the true stars of the show, so just kind of do whatever they need, but act and present yourself in a way that people think you're a shoot referee.
Right. Did he give you some homework to go back and watch, all right, so I'm going to use this one, and if it was cool, if not, oh well. Undertaker Mankind, Hell in a Cell match, did they say, all right, don't watch the match, essentially, but watch the referee? Did he give you matches like that to just make sure you watch the referee the whole time?
He didn't. He is also a really big AEW fan, so he told me to just watch Aubrey Edwards in the ring.
Aubrey's amazing. Really, she can slide into a corner and you don't know that she's there, and then all of a sudden she comes bounding out like, the Incredible Hulk saving the day, right?
Once you become a referee, it's really hard to watch wrestling because you're watching the refs. Just because you're trying to basically learn from and emulate what they do. So then whenever you're watching a match, they became your actual focus. So every step they take, that's basically all I watch whenever I'm trying to do ref study.
Besides Aubrey, is there anybody else that you're kind of watching?
Rick Knox is also really good.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of, especially in tag team matches, that can get really chaotic.
I'll give.
I don't know a lot of refs off by name, unfortunately.
No, that's okay.
I feel really bad because I'm a ref. I should know those things, and then I don't.
No, that's okay. You're young. You're young. I'll tell you one to actually watch, and we have a love-hate relationship, but he is the stupid referee that wears one sleeve on Impact. His name is Daniel Spencer. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. He does some stuff with OVW, but he's on Impact a lot. I'm hating myself for saying this because he listens to the podcast as well. He is a good referee. He's just a terrible human being. I'm kidding. He is somebody that if you want to contact with, to get some pointers or ask him a question or anything, he's a great guy. Give some of his, work in the ring a watch because he is a good guy. He literally wears one sleeve. He's an idiot. So
I'll definitely check him out.
When you're watching Impact, watch the guy that has one compression sleeve on, and that's Daniel Spencer. Random questions that I have as well. That you talked about you were training as a wrestler as well. How did that training go? I know bumps are hard. Was there any time that when you were training to do the wrestling that you're like, nope, I'm out. I love this refereeing stuff way too much more than beating my body up.
Bumps can definitely be very intimidating at first, and there's definitely still some bumps I haven't taken just because I'm still kind of a baby about it. I decided on refereeing partly just because we need more female referees, but I plan to start actually wrestling in February. So I hope that my training has gone well enough that it won't be too bad. I'm definitely scared to come out as myself in front of an audience, not as a referee.
So you have an alter ego inside your referee body as well then, still knocking on the door to get out.
I do. I still really want to wrestle, and I think it'll be very fun. I have a luchador style gimmick that I plan to do, because especially here in the States, you don't see a lot of women wear a masked gimmick. So I really want to, I guess stand out is the word, but also bring representation into that.
Nice. So you're telling me that we need to book you right after your first match to come back on to talk about how your first match went as well, being a luchador.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also train with my sister, and we're hoping to be debuting a tag team gimmick as well.
Oh, now see, you said something at the beginning that, you know, you're going to be coming out as a tag team as well, but you didn't let me know it was your sister. Way to drop the bomb 3/4 of the way through the show. So how long has your sister been training?
She started training about a month or so after I did. I found a company and I started training with them, and my sister had just finished her first year of college and had just gotten back from some National Guard training she was doing. So she comes over one night and we're talking, and she finds out about the wrestling. So she starts looking into doing some type of MMA type fighting because she was really worried that I would be seen as the toughest one.
Of course.
So I was like, hey, why don't you just come to wrestling training with me and see if you like it? So we've been training together ever since.
That's awesome. That warms my heart. Has she been a wrestling fan longer than you, or less than you, or same time as you?
Way less than me.
Way less than you, which is
incredible because it's only been like 2 years.
Right, that's what I mean. That's crazy.
She started watching wrestling about 2 months into training.
Okay. That's not
Before
bad.
that, she didn't watch any wrestling and thought it was lame that we did.
She thought it was lame, and now she's in the business, essentially. What a great sister you are, throwing her right under the bus. Where do you like to see yourself, like 5 years from now, then? Would you like to... I know you haven't had your first match, but would you like to be doing both? Because, God, The Godfather can be Papa Shango, Kama, and The Godfather all on the same show, and I just spoke, German to you again, because do you know who The Godfather is, at least?
I don't.
Okay. Well, he's somebody that has 3 gimmicks, essentially. And at times, he used to be in WWE, and now he's on the indies doing everything. But on indie shows, he'll do all 3 gimmicks at one time. He'll go out as the Godfather, which, if you don't know, he's a pimp. I'll put it that way. And then he comes back as this, like, medicine man, Papa Shango, and then he's somebody else. He does that on all the cards anymore. So would you be willing to wrestle and referee on the same card once everything, pans out?
I am planning to do that next year.
Oh, you are in 2022?
Yeah, in 2022, I'll be both refereeing and wrestling.
Nice.
With with two different companies, I've already set up my debut as a wrestler and referee. So on those shows, at least two shows I have booked in January and February, I'll be wrestling and refereeing. And then going forward from that, I plan to keep doing both, especially while on the indies, because honestly, it's really hard being a female wrestler on the indies, because there's a good percentage of the time where you just don't have an opponent.
Yeah.
You either don't have an opponent, or your match is going to be a trios match because they booked 3 women, like, with the hope that at least 2 of them will show up.
Yeah, that happens across the nation, Robin. I'm sorry to tell you that. It really does. Unless they're IWC in Pittsburgh is one, they're homegrown. They have kind of their own training facility and everything, so they know who is going to be there. But if you go to these other indies that are like spot shows here and there, you're right. You know, I'll book 5 women, and 4 of them canceled. Oh shit! Now what do I do? And how are you on intergender matches? Would you want to do intergender matches?
I would definitely be interested in doing intergender matches. I think that there's a lot of opportunities for storytelling in those matches. But I also wouldn't want to be locked in the box of that's the only option. So for me, as also being a referee, if I don't have an opponent, they can just pay me to ref that night.
Right. Double dipping. You're smart. You really understand this business already. Who was it, your trainers that fed you some of this information to double dip? Or did you come up with this, like, kind of by yourself?
I came up with this on my own, especially while wanting to do a mask gimmick. I can come out twice that night, and the fans aren't going to know who I am. Right. At least the everyday fans who are just coming to a random show versus someone who follows me on social media.
Yeah, the marks that are going to know you in and out because you wear the same boots or something. Yeah, that's going to look that deep into you. I agree.
I also have had 2. I was recently at a small indie show here in Oklahoma that I was just showing up to like watch. And I had 2 different people come up to me and was like, "Hey, aren't you Robin the Ref?" So that was really weird and interesting to have fans as a referee come up to me and be very excited that I was there, even though I was just sitting in the crowd.
Yeah, it happens. You're in the business now. There's wrestling fans that just love referees. Really, yeah. So did that kind of stroke your ego a little bit then?
A little bit. It was also just very shocking because I didn't know fans like cared about the referees at all.
Oh yeah. When I take the time to sit down and watch an event, like our local one here, IWC, I'll mention it again. We taunt the referees the whole time. There could be a great match going on, but one of our good friends, CJ, is a referee, and if he's in the ring, we're going to make a mockery out of him. We really are. And you're going to get fans like that just go nuts. Becky Phillips is another one that's in Maryland. She has done some ROH stuff and MCW stuff. She gets the hugest pops when you're in Baltimore. So hopefully that's essentially where you're going to become in Oklahoma, right?
Hopefully.
You will. Trust me. You will. I know you're young, but I always like asking this question. What has wrestling brought to your life as of right now then?
Besides just every weekend being booked and not having a ton of free time between it and training, it's really brought an incredible experience of self-confidence and an appreciation for athletes of all types and how much work it actually takes, along with just being like a lot healthier now. between going to the gym and trying to eat better, stuff like that. So it's really brought me a whole new healthy lifestyle, and it's brought me some of the best friends I could ever ask for.
The wrestling community really is a family. Like, once you find somebody behind that curtain that is your, ride or die, they really are your ride or die. And no disrespect to your husband, because essentially he is. He is, number one in life. But if he's not going to be at a show and wrestler A, friend's going to be there, or referee B is going to be there, you know that you're comfortable behind that curtain, and they're going to take care of you, and you're going to take care of them no matter what happens. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree. There's a lot of shows that my husband doesn't go to with me.
Oh,
I do a lot of...
Well, you're a bum.
I do a lot of solo traveling or traveling with we basically call it our tribe. And that's a real meaning to us. And we look out for one another, protect each other, especially because it's almost half women. So we all have to look out for one another and make sure we're safe in the locker room.
This is a rough one, being so young into the business, but do you see a stigmatism in the locker rooms that if you could, get rid of, that you would completely, get rid of, have it be that, oh, you're a female referee, what the hell are you going to do in the match, or anything, any stigmatism, essentially, across the board that kind of still goats you a little bit?
I haven't experienced a stigmatism per se, but I've definitely experienced people not treating it professionally and thinking that just because I'm a girl that I would be interested in them, which is a whole gross side of the business that is supposedly gone.
It's not,
but
though.
As far as it's definitely not. As far as being discriminated against, that hasn't been a thing. It's been more of a, oh, I noticed you came alone, so I'm going to hit on you. Yeah.
Those dirty bastards. And if they listen, that's exactly what you are. Come on, this is a professional thing. Robin's trying to make, her way throughout the wrestling business. Stop. I hate all that. So, yeah, I'm sorry that if it was once, if it was 5 times, Robin, on this side of the phone, computer, whatever you want to say we are on right now, I'm sorry that you had to feel that way one time, because that's disgusting still. It's 2022, for the love of God. It's not yet, but I'm rounding again.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It definitely hasn't become a severe issue ever, but for women interested in getting in the business who's not, be sure to find your tribe. Find the people that you trust to protect you in those circumstances if they arise.
That was awesome. I was just going to ask you to give some advice, and you just did it by yourself. This is your first podcast. Other things where are you going to be in the next couple of weeks or anything, in case anybody wants to travel out to see you? And are you going to get a little bit better on social media? Because, come on, we need to know the ins and outs of the Ref Robin. We need to have somebody take pictures of you when you're in the ring, and I'm throwing you under the bus. But come on, expose your social media, because I do know you're starting something else, right?
So I don't really have anything throughout the end of the year. Most of my bookings are going to be in January because, I don't know, family stuff. I don't want to have to schedule wrestling around family events.
Christmas. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
Seriously? You're not a Christmas fan either?
No, not really.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christmas is so overrated. Seeing my family is nice, of course, but I personally have a rule not to travel on Christmas Day. So since I've started implementing that rule, Christmas has definitely gotten better. So you can just be at home and play a video game or whatever and not have to rush around to make sure you see everyone so their feelings aren't hurt.
I wonder if my wife will let me do that this Christmas. She's going to come after you if I say, hey, Robin said that we should not travel on Christmas. We can't go see your mom. We can't go see my dad. We can't go here. We just need to sit home, do the presents with the kid, and let me play video games. I'm going to give her your number, by the way.
You definitely should. I have the benefit of my husband, both of his parents are gone, so we don't have to stress as much about his family. So he's much more willing to just accept my role of not traveling.
Nice.
So good luck convincing your wife.
Thanks. It's not going to happen. I've already lost that battle. We brought up family real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, but bookings I have upcoming, I have Red River in North Texas. I have Core in Tulsa, Oklahoma, both the 7th and 8th of January. Then I have NCWO, which is a company out of McAllister, Oklahoma, that I booked on the 22nd. And then January 29th, I have American Wrestling Revolution in Kansas. And that'll be my first ever Kansas show.
Nice. Nice. Now, how far are you from all of these? Are you like hours? Is it a day trip back and forth, or are you spending nights, or what's going on?
All of them are a day trip back and forth. They kind of range from 2 to 4 hours away.
So not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
You say you ride with, the other question is going to hold off for a second. You say you ride with your tribe. Any stories about riding with your tribe? Because that's one of the best things in wrestling are those road stories. Do you have any of those yet, being so young into the business?
Nothing insane, really. It's usually a pretty straightforward trip for us. A lot of just staring out the window, kind of bored.
Okay, good. There's so many things I could bring up, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik. Your husband will get that reference. That one guy was a face, one guy's a heel, and they were caught in the 80s smoking dope. And you don't have heels and faces riding together. Back then you didn't. Essentially, car rides are car rides anymore. But they got busted smoking marijuana, so that blew up wrestling within itself. So
I said that, didn't I break the kayfabe story?
Yep.
And kind of opened up the business to scrutiny.
Yeah. See? History lessons today here on Can Crushers. The other question that I said that I was going to ask is, family very supportive of you? I mean, I know your sister's doing this as well, but husband's good. Everybody's very supportive of you getting into the business.
Yes, everyone has been extremely supportive. My grandma used to, whenever she was younger, owned a basically like a seamstress type shop. So she's been extremely supportive, making me and Becky gear. And we've been very lucky to be so supported by everyone.
That's awesome. Grandma's making your gear. I love it. I love it.
She's done such a great job. She's made gear for both of my gimmicks and my sister Becky's as well.
That's amazing within itself. You win having Grandma do that. That's got to mean so much to you as well then, right?
Yeah, I am so excited to get to showcase the things that she's made for us, because she spent so many hours just doing this just out of the love of her heart. Yeah.
This is a time that I'll give you to, tell everybody where to follow you on your social medias, and, so they can follow Robin the Ref and see what you're going to be doing in the upcoming future, and, follow your ride in wrestling as well. So if you want to spat those off.
You can follow me on Instagram at robin.the.ref. You can find me at Robin the Ref on Facebook. I will warn you, I haven't done a ton of work with Facebook yet. Still working on that. Same thing with Twitter. You can follow me at Robin the Ref. And in the beginning of the year, you could also follow me on YouTube or TikTok. but I'll be posting that on Instagram as well.
Yeah, and you guys know that she'll be tagged in everything on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you just want to click on her link, then you'll be able to follow her there as well, guys. Robin, before I let you go, you posted something a while ago, and it was when you started refereeing, saying that, you know, you're doing a good job, you're doing great, but you're not even the best ref in your house. So what's up with that? I saw this cute little animal that's dressed up and clearly a better referee than you.
Yes, that's my dog Maggie. I ordered a referee shirt off of Amazon, and it came in a child size small instead of an adult small. So I went ahead and put it on her and decided to take a full photo shoot with her that I haven't released yet.
The one wins though, because she's adorable and just looks like she's the boss.
I have her, and I have another dog named Rusty that I'll be posting pictures of soon. But he's going to be dressed as an old WWF referee in like the blue collared shirt and the bow tie.
Nice.
So I'll be posting about both of them soon.
So then you have to get 8x10s made of them and put like their paw print on it. That downfall is they might be selling more merch than you.
Yeah, that's the worry, because they're pretty adorable.
They are freaking, well, Maggie is. I haven't seen Rusty yet, but yeah, Maggie's freaking adorable in that ref outfit.
The problem is I'm worried that people's going to want to book them for signings, and they really hate other people. So it's going to be awkward to try to get them out there.
Well, we'll have to have your handler, which is your husband, help with that, I'm sure, right?
Right.
Robin, this has been a blast. Thank you for stopping by Can Crushers. We're going to book your next, interview down the line in mid-February or so, when we can talk about your first match, if you're good with that, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'd love to be another guest.
Always. You're always welcome to come on the show. Pass the word around that we want to talk to everybody in the wrestling business. And here's to you, taking over Aubrey Edwards. Aubrey, oh my God, Mark. Aubrey Edwards' job in AEW someday.
I mean, hopefully one day we get to work there together and promotions don't limit it to one female referee.
That's a great answer. You're right. We'll get rid of Rick Knox then. That's it. Boom. You can be the tag team specialist.
Love that.
Love that. Thanks for stopping by, dear.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Guys, that was my interview with Robin Head. Robin the Ref, what a sweetheart. She absolutely awesome. She can come on the show anytime she wants to chat about wrestling. And hopefully next time she brings her husband, because that's, I think, who I want to talk to in that relationship. I probably mentioned some people in the intro that, I'm sorry, Robin, that you have no clue who they are. Just bringing out some referee names saying, I want to know if Robin, who Teddy Long is, or so on and so forth like that. But hey, 2 years into the business, 1 year into the business, 2 years as a wrestling fan, and she's already making headway. She's booked pretty much until the end of February, doing shows all over her area. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad she got to work with Thunder Rosa. That was a great story. I hope to see her more on Mission Pro Wrestling that we can watch on the Title Match Network up here in our neck of the woods in Pennsylvania. But maybe that's a trip that I need to make. Maybe I head to Oklahoma or Kansas or Texas. Or if I'm going to Texas, I have to go see my homeboy Vincent Barry. But I also have to see some Mission Pro, and maybe Robin will be on the show. So yeah, what a great interview. I'm glad that she's also going to double dip. I like that. She'll wrestle and then boom, change and then be a referee. Good idea. Robin, running this business already, only being in it about a year, and then setting up a tag team with her sister. The greatest story, though, from this podcast is that Grandma is making the gear. Guys, if you listen to Can Crushers for the years that we've been on, you know that I'm that guy. You know, that just melts my heart that Grandma is so invested making the gear for her and her sister. So when they reveal the tag team, that's pretty awesome. Guys, follow Robin. Watch her journey as she blows up and continues to take over this business, because these are people that we need in the business more and more. She's got a great head on her shoulder. And it's her first podcast again. Way to go, Mark. Just reaching out, grabbing people. Yeah. I don't believe I gave props to Daniel Spencer in this. This is unbelievable. Don't listen to his podcast, Ringside Podcast, either, because it's garbage. No. Great guy. Again, Robin, it's Daniel Spencer. If you need to check him out, he's a good guy. He looks like an idiot on Impact Wrestling. So, yeah. Another great interview here, guys. Don't forget, you can find us everywhere I said. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's all at CanCrusher69. If you're talent and you'd love to be on the show, reach out to us on one of those social medias or send us an email at cancrusher69@gmail.com. We'll set something up. Come on, spotlight your career, talk wrestling with me, dive in. Maybe we can talk about some more stuff in the 90s or 80s, and maybe next time Robin comes back on, she's watched some more wrestling and we can find out who the Godfather is. No, I'm sorry, Robin. Again, thank you very much for coming on, Robin. It was great. Guys, remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.